always enjoy the first cup of coffee here in the morning at Villa Feliz. Anyway, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today we have an exciting episode. I believe it's an exciting episode because it's a part for the TV enclosure on the back of the pavilion that came in late last night, and I'm going to do an install of that this morning. And if you enjoy DIY type of projects, I think you might enjoy today's project as well. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get today started. Now, without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Alright, well, let's go ahead and start by talking about why I'm so excited today. I received this in the mail yesterday. This is the AC Infinity Air Plate T8, and this is the quiet cooling dual fan system by AC Infinity. That is a must if you have any type of electronic components in an enclosure that you're looking for cooling to make sure that it doesn't overheat and your electronics don't get destroyed from the heat. As you know, heat is probably one of the worst things for electronics when you have too much heat inside there. So anyway, this came in the mail yesterday. It comes with a couple of fans and a controller unit right here that will allow you to do some types of configuration, whether it be automatic or if you want to just turn the fans on. If you have something similar to what we have right here behind me. Behind me we have a TV enclosure for our pavilion outdoor entertainment system, and we'll look a little closer at that in just a minute. Another thing that came in the mail yesterday was a USB adapter, and you're probably wondering, if you've been watching the Pavilion series, especially the TV enclosure, James, why do you need another USB adapter? Well, I'm going to tell you, inside the enclosure that we talked about in our last episode that had to do with the pavilion and the TV enclosure, we have a USB bulkhead adapter inside there, but it is a USB 2.0, and this is a USB 3.0. This actually has a little bit more capability than the other USB connector. We're going to talk a little bit about that in just a moment, the difference between USB 2.0 and USB 3.0 and why I felt we needed to go with USB 3.0. All right, let's go ahead and take a look real quick at our enclosure, talk about what we're going to do today. And here's the front of our enclosure. I have a little remote control over here that will open up the storm shutters on the front of it, and that's just a protectionary measure so that we don't have any damage done to the TV or any of the components behind the storm shutter. Now we're going to start by looking over here at the USB connector. Now this is our USB connector that we have inside here, and that's a USB 2.0. I told you we have another one over here inside this little package. This is USB 3.0. Again, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Now this is all enclosed. It's enclosed behind tempered glass right here. We have tempered glass, as well as we have a stainless steel enclosure on the back right here. Now we have to have some way for air to circulate inside so that the components on the inside don't get overheated. And we talked about our little adaptation that we use with materials that we have here at Villa Feliz to be able to make a vent on the back here. So this is where the fans are going to go. The fans are going to go on the inside of this enclosure. We're going to end up cutting a hole back here, but this is the way we're going to get air in and out of this enclosure by means of using this device right here. Now for the control unit on this air cooling system, we're going to move the remote controls out of the way right here, and we're going to use this little compartment right here. We're going to install the controller. It comes with a template. We'll cut a hole in this right here, and we'll put the control unit that will allow us to configure, monitor, turn on, turn off, do whatever we need to do. It will monitor the temperature inside the enclosure as well, because inside here, inside this area right here, is going to be a probe inside there that's going to measure the heat that's behind the television. Now, before we get started with doing the installation, I told you we were going to talk a little bit about what the difference is between USB 2.0 and USB the 3.0. This is the USB 3.0 interface that we have right here. And it mainly has to do with data rate, the amount of data that you can push through it. There are some other things, we'll briefly talk about them, but the main thing is the USB 3.0 has 10 times more capacity of moving data, or the amount of data, than 2.0. 2.0 is rated at 480 megabits per second, and this is rated at 4,800 megabits per second. Basically 10 times the amount that you can push through. So if you are doing something like you want to watch a very high definition movie, something that may be in 4K or in 8K, and you wanted to go to the back of your TV, which is what we're going to be doing here, you would probably want something that has a better throughput, which is what you would do with the 3.0. There's some other characteristics with the 2.0 and the 3.0, and it has to do with the amount of voltage that you can put through it between the 2.0 and 3.0, but that's not so important in this application right here. So that's the main reason we're going with this. We want to make sure that we don't lose anything in our resolution when we're watching movies on this TV behind us right here. Oh wait, I forgot to briefly mention one more thing about the difference between 2.0 and 3.0, and it has to do with the pins. Let me see if I can open this up for you real quick here. And when you look inside, hopefully you can see, and it's not out of focus right here, but inside on a USB 2.0 device, which is what we currently have inside our entertainment center now, it has 4 pin connections, whereas this has 9 pin connections inside here. Basically, each one of the wires that go through have the ability to pass data. Now we have more than double the amount that's on this one, hence that helps out with the amount of data that can be passed through on a 3.0 USB interface. Let's go ahead and start with what is really the easier of the two tasks, and let's just go ahead and remove and replace the old USB device with the new USB 3.0 interface. So it's basically just taking a couple of screws out that I have here, popping out the old device, the old interface, and replacing it with the newer one. Something I want to show you, and this is kind of unique to this application, is you see the front interface right here, but instead of on the back like the old one, let me grab the old one here. Now the old one had the printer USB interface on the back, and instead of going straight out the back, which limits the amount of room that we have, we did a real small profile for the enclosure on the back. It's only about 1 inch that sticks out on the back. What I did was I got one where the interface is actually on the side, so when we push it back through, it will come this way instead of going out of the back, and gives us a little bit more of space saving on the back of this enclosure. So let's go ahead and install this. And I had this little nice rubber waterproof boot on the side, which we don't really need it. It's more for aesthetics than it is anything else. Put that inside there. Now what I thought was going to be really simple, and we knocked this out really quick, is going to be a little bit more challenging, but not something that can't be overcome. You see it fits really nice here. I didn't put the screws in because, let me show you the back side what we're facing, where before, remember, this just stuck out directly inside the back and we were able to connect on the back here. This is an L, and well, it's better to show you than to talk about it right now. So I think it's obvious, that's actually the USB connection right here. The bulkhead connector right here, it doesn't go far enough to the back to make a connection there. So what we're going to have to do is we have to come up with some type of a solution, which isn't going to be too difficult, I don't think. I think what we're going to do, we're going to cut out some of this wood right here so we can approach this USB bulkhead connector from the side right here. We'll be able to get in. We'll just have to slide through. And you're probably saying to yourself, James, why didn't you catch this when you ordered the part? Well, when I looked at it on Amazon.com and they gave the dimensions, they gave the full length of this, which was about 1.25 inches, between 1.25 inches and 1.5 inches, and I thought there would be plenty of room for this connection right here to be sticking out the back, but obviously it isn't, and it's just something we can fix right here. We'll do it with some cutting. So I believe with just these few tools that I have there, a couple of chisels, a hammer to help with chiseling out, a marker, and I'll start it with this little razor blade knife here. I believe we'll be able to cut out the correct amount that we need for the USB connector to go into the USB bulkhead connection. Now you can see we have a nice fit here. We have a good profile where it doesn't stick out too far, not out the back right here where it would end up hitting this right here. We don't want it to do that. And the next thing I advise is if you're doing this in an outdoor environment like we're doing here inside the Philippines, this is all treated. This has selenium treatment, and it has the selenium stain on the deck staining on the outside of it. So this is in preparation or protection against anything like bug infestation. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pull this apart, and I'm going to treat this here because it's exposed wood now. I'm going to treat that with some selenium that will do protection against any termites or any other type of infestation or mold or anything, being we're in a humid environment. Then we'll go ahead and install the 2 screws in the back, and we'll be done with this part right here. Okay, so this is done. I'm not going to put this cable back on. I'm actually ordering another cable because this is a USB 2.0 cable, and it has the regular standard USB-A on one side, and it has the printer USB cable on the other side, the connector on there. So what I did was I already ordered a USB 3.0 cable. It goes from here to the back of the television where it connects to the USB connector up there, and that has the 9 pins on there, so we make sure that we have. So make sure if you are upgrading from a 2 to 3.0 that whatever device or bulkhead connector that you have connecting to, that the cable is also a USB 3.0. Before we do the installation of the T8, let's go ahead and look what's inside the box. Now inside the box you get 2 6-inch fans, and you get the controller unit right here. The controller unit has some interfaces on the back, and the way it provides power to the 2 6-inch fans are via these 2 USB connections right here. There's a connection for a sensor that's inside. We'll open up further to look for that, and for the power supply. Here's some of the mounting hardware. Here's the power supply. Here's the connection for the power supply, and the manual, of course. So you can see both of the fans are installed, and our guys at KMC Ironworks did a great job with the template that I gave them for all the pilot holes, or the holes actually for mounting the hardware. Both of the fans are installed, and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. And here we are on the inside, and you can see both of them are installed. Now we have to have some way to keep any bugs from getting inside here. I ordered, and they're not in, we have to wait for them to come in. I ordered a magnetic filter that you can actually, it will attach to the stainless steel, because stainless steel is magnetic. Or what I can do is I can modify this right here. We'll cut a hole here, and we can actually make it some type of a mount where it can mount in this, which is going to go over, remember, over the top of the fan here. Now it's time to mount the control unit itself. It comes with a template so that you can line up the holes, which I've already done. I put the template on here, found the position that I wanted to go inside. I marked the 4 holes for the screws, and then I'll go ahead and drill these here, and then go on the back, and I'll cut the hole because it's a little difficult to cut from this location right here, the hole in the center of this template for this to slide through. Well, there you have it. That's the installation of the AC Infinity T8 dual fan cooling system for the television enclosure here in the pavilion at Villa Feliz. I think I'm going to stop right here on this episode. I'm not going to put you through just putting some screens in once they come in. We have those screens that are going in the back. They'll prevent the bugs from coming back in. But it's set up in that push-pull configuration. One of the fans sucking in air, one of them pushing out air, and it should keep it cool. I set up the temperatures inside there, which you can do. You can set whatever temperature you want it to actually kick on. Or you can set an alert for what temperature it gets inside if it gets too high, and it'll cause an alarm to go off. you can set it up for variable speed so that it will, the fans will actually spin faster as it needs, instead of just coming on and off, on and off, on and off all the time. Anyway, I'm happy with the system and it seems to work as advertised. Maybe we'll do an update on it later on. Well, that's it for today's episode. Again, if you're in the market for doing something like this right here, I think this is a valuable resource. So, if you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up, please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed and notified the next time I upload a new video. So from right here in the beautiful Philippines, you have a wonderful and blessed day. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.